Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trek YT here, back at it again with another video that might be a little bit more on the depressing side for a lot of you guys that really do enjoy my SkyBlock series. So if you guys don't already know, and if you guys aren't avid players of SkyBlock on SkyRegions, or I've never played on and just watch it for me playing it, I guess, SkyRegion is officially shut down. It's done with. The owners, Rusher and I guess Wild, are no longer feeling like they would like to pay for it or have it anymore. So that was their decision, and Curtis, the one, he basically, what his job on the server is to be the manager of the server. So basically Wild and Rusher owned it, and then Curtis ran it for them, and he would get money for it and stuff like that. But so I guess Rusher backed out a long time ago since his Rocket League started to boost off. And Wild just decided he didn't really want to be this solo YouTuber on SkyRegions anymore, so he decided that he would part ways with it, and I guess that's just what his decision was, so that's kind of where we are. So as of right now, the SkyRegions server itself is not up at all. You can't even get on it, so that's why our last episode isn't even going to be on SkyRegions. It's going to be touring something that I've been working on for SkyRegions for probably about 3 months now. I really wasn't working on it very often just because I had a feeling that the server was going to be coming to an end. It was definitely on a downfall ever since Rusher left, and ever since, I guess, No Boom and all the other YouTubers that were participating in this server had left. Everyone, the player count, you can obviously, it was starting to drop. We used to hit over 1,000 players on the server, and like in the last month or so, we weren't even hitting like 400 on the server. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. SkyRegions is officially over, and this is our last episode of SkyRegions. So we're going to tour this, I guess, thing that I was working on for SkyRegions, and then after that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about possible future things and a little bit more about exactly why SkyRegions was basically over with. So we're going to jump right into this tour of what I was doing. So what I was doing for SkyRegions is I was building a spawn. Now, all this stuff that you see right here was 100% built by me. Now, there was a little bit of an edited version that was being worked on by, I guess, some of the other staff members of SkyRegions. Now, I don't have that, and I think the only things that were changed is a couple of these islands around here had a little bit more, I guess, some actual buildings on it. So I don't have that version of it, so I can't really showcase that, but there was definitely some other people that contributed to that part. But everything you see right here today was built by me over the process of about 3 or 4 months. I went to Wild and I talked to him, and I was like, yo, let me build this spawn for SkyRegions. He talked to Curtis, and Curtis hit me up, and Curtis said, go ahead, and if I like it, I'll use it. But I never got around to ending up finishing it, so I guess I'm just going to hold on to this build for a while and maybe end up finishing it and using it for something in the future. Possible plans, I mean, I don't really see myself opening up my own server, but maybe if I find another server that I really like, I can go ahead and use that for that server maybe. So what we got so far is it was going to be 2 main islands. We have this island right here and then that island over here. So this was going to be the main spawn in island. This is where everyone was going to spawn in, and then over here was going to be kind of where crate keys were. So like the separate warp for warp crates would be over here, or if you really wanted to, you could just walk across this bridge. Now I'm definitely really impressed with what I have come up with. Now I know I didn't finish it, and I feel like it would have looked way better if I do finish it, but with what I came up with, I think I did a pretty good job, especially on the bottoms of these islands. I learned a really cool trick when it comes to building that I could potentially show in a video or just link it or something like that, because it's definitely makes some really cool islands, as you can see, and it makes them really fast, and it's all with world edit. It's probably one of the cooler world edit tricks that I've learned that I didn't know about, and it's awesome, and it made these awesome looking, I guess, undersides of these islands. Kind of looks like this literally broke right out of an actual island, or like the ground below, and it just kind of rose up. So I think that looks awesome, and I kind of wish that I ended up putting this on SkyRegions, but again, it wasn't finished. So we had this center spawn-in area. Now it was basically what it was going to look like around here was it was going to look a lot kind of like this. I was going to kind of detail everything, kind of like map, like kind of like if it was like almost like Hunger Games maps or something like that. It's going to be kind of detailed like that. And I had detailed one little area. This was kind of down here. This was showcasing the owners. It had Wild, Kurt, and Rusher in there. Now, since it's over with, I guess they're no longer owners. So now that we got all this stored away, then we would walk all the way over here. And what I was planning on doing over here was doing a smaller version of this on here. You just have like 2 or 3 warp crates, or like little crate key places where you can use your crate keys. And I thought it would be pretty cool to separate the 2 of these. And I thought it came out really well. and would have been even better again if I had ended up finishing it. I thought this bridge was really creative. It was very, very organic. I kind of placed this island and this island next to each other, and then I had this immense task of trying to get this from here to here. Now, every single block is kind of organic. I kind of just had to place blocks where I thought there needed some flow or something like that, and I kind of tried to replicate it on both sides. I mean, you can clearly see down below that this is not, I guess, symmetric on both sides, so that's what makes this kind of look cool, especially when you come back here and you look at this side. It looks pretty cool. It's got straight arc right here, but then these arcs right here connecting it definitely look really, really awesome. And I don't even know what you would call this for a theme, but I definitely thought it would be really, really cool. And if you throw on shaders mod, this thing looks absolutely amazing. So I thought I would throw on shaders so you guys can kind of see what I was talking about, how awesome this thing looks like with shaders. Like, it makes everything look so much better. But just sitting from up here and looking down on this, it makes these trees look so awesome. I even put little apple heads on these trees, and I think shaders makes everything look cool. But we're gonna go back to our regular texture pack, but I just want to show you guys what this thing does look like with shaders, because I think it looks absolutely awesome. And then on the outsides of this, I kind of placed a bunch of random islands. I built 3 separate types of islands and then kind of rotated them and placed them in different places, and then I only was able to detail the tops of all these little islands. Now, I detailed probably about 4 different versions, and then I placed it all around. So I think there's probably like 1 or 2 of each version. So this is just one of the versions. It's basically just a tree with a bunch of little decor all around it. I think it came out really, really cool. And I kind of wish I ended up detailing the bigger islands, because I think that would have definitely made this whole thing tie right together. So that kind of concludes this little tour part. Again, I'm going to hold on to this build to see maybe if I can use it in the future and maybe have some other people help me finish it, or just kind of finish it on my own as I want to and find some use for it. I definitely am kind of happy that I ended up building this, because it's pretty impressive. This is like one of my first larger scale builds all on my own. Now, I've done larger scale builds with other people, but this is my first larger scale build completely on my own, and I'm kind of impressed by it. I kind of wish I had finished it. I definitely will at some point in my Minecraft career. I'll definitely will finish this, I can promise you that, but as of right now, it's probably going to be on hold for a while until I figure out kind of where I want to go after SkyBlock, and that kind of brings us where we're going to go to next. So I definitely have some ideas for a series that could possibly replace SkyBlock. Now, I don't know if I'm going to jump right back into a SkyBlock series, because that means I would have to find another server, and I feel like taking a break from SkyBlock, just because I came onto this really excited in the 2nd season, and having it cut short again kind of is a buzzkill for SkyBlock for me. Really brings that down on me, and I definitely, as I was coming through these last couple episodes, definitely with the lack of players that were on the server and lack of interaction, like server-wise, because there was like, if I would get on Fantasy Region, there'd be like 30-40 people on there instead of like the normal when it was like completely full. So that kind of bummed me out a little bit when I would get on there. So I mean, yeah, I met a lot of familiar faces on there, but it was just it was a little bummer too. I can see, I guess, where Wild was coming from when he didn't want to play on there, when there wasn't very many people participating and playing on the server. So I think I'm going to take a break from SkyBlock. I'll definitely try to work up something new that I know you guys will like, try to get that creativeness going again, and try to find something that you guys will all like, and I guess a good replacement for the SkyBlock series. Now, I don't know any times on when that could possibly release. I don't even have 100% idea of what I want to do. Just a couple things floating around in my head, trying to think of maybe I could participate with some other people, collab on a series or something, somebody new. I don't actually know. I just have some ideas, and I'm definitely going to be working hard over this next month or so to try to figure out something that can be just as good as the SkyBlock series, if not better, and make you guys all happy with a nice replacement series. So lastly, again, I kind of want to talk again why the server did end, and kind of like give my side of the story, because there was a slight bit of drama that went down behind the scenes. I was never really participated in that. I don't really get involved in that kind of stuff, but SkyRegions did end on kind of a sadder note, because I guess Curtis, you guys may not know this because you guys weren't staff members, but Curtis was all about the server. Now, you guys may not know this, but Curtis really wasn't the one that was making all the shots and stuff like that. So Curtis was out there to run the server. So if Wild or Rusher wanted him to do something, that's when something would be implemented. Like the custom enchants, that was all Wild's ideas. So you guys can't really blame Curtis too much for the lack of updates on the server, because he was just doing what other people were telling him to do, because that was what he was being paid for, and that's what he was there, and that was his position for that. So that's one main reason why I guess things were not being changed on SkyRegions. Also, one thing I think a lot of people get a little bit mixed up is Curtis is not a developer. He is a server manager, or whatever title you want to call it. So he's like a network manager. So what he does is he just makes sure everything runs smoothly. So he's kind of like the CEO of a company. He oversees everything, but doesn't get into the dirty work, I guess, of it. So like the custom enchants, when those came out, they were a little rusty and stuff like that. Like the coding and stuff like that was not very good. I never really participated with the custom enchants since we never got them over on Fantasy, but as being a staff member, I know there was a lot of issues with that, and Curtis himself even stated that he wasn't happy with the job that was done from the people, but they put a lot of time and money into it, so they had to get it out to you guys because everybody was already getting kind of salty that it wasn't out sooner. So I guess that's another thing. I'm kind of backing up Curtis here, and I definitely really do think that Curtis meant well for SkyRegions. I think that he definitely wanted SkyRegions to go down well. He even was about to pay for another month for the server to be up, just because he wanted all the people that participated and supported the server, like donated and stuff like that, to get their money's worth and get their, I guess, their last little goodbyes to the server. But he couldn't find himself to paying for the server, since it was a good, I guess, a jointed thing between him, Rusher, and Wild. So he just didn't want to go out on a limb and just spend all this money for something that he definitely, I guess, wouldn't get his return on. So he definitely cared a ton about SkyRegion. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, let you guys know that Kurt wasn't a bad guy. Wild's not really a bad guy. I guess Wild just kind of, he wanted to leave because he wasn't enjoying it, and then Rusher was definitely having a lot of success with his Rocket League. So everything kind of happened for a reason, and that's kind of why SkyRegions came to an end. So for those of you out there that are kind of sad that SkyRegions came to an end, you know, I understand everyone's bad feelings, especially the people that donated were kind of salty that their donations just kind of went to waste. But just know that everybody, I guess, all the decisions that were made for good reasons. We kind of have to kind of respect those, since they're kind of out of our control. So we can get mad, but nothing's really going to change. So you might as well just, I guess, come to the, I guess, realization that SkyRegions is over. Potentially, I don't know if it would ever come back, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure it's 100% done. I know this was a sort of depressing, I guess, last SkyRegions video, but I just want to give a couple of shout outs to some people that were some notable members in the SkyRegion community. I really want to thank, like, the Nam. I really like that guy. He was a great guy. I want to thank Tiny Block Tim. All these people. I want to thank Smokey. I'm going to try to name as many people as I can. I'm going to name Emma, who Shadow played. I'm going to name Bond Plays, Lego, Morgan, Creeves, like all of the staff members, and then even some people that weren't even staff members, like Hayo was a good guy. Like, there were so many people out there that we all just made up this amazing community. And if I didn't name your name, I'm really, really sorry that I didn't name your name, but there were so many great community members out there, and we even made our own community outside the YouTubers that were involved, and that's what really made me kind of happy with SkyRegions, was that SkyRegions, besides the fact that YouTubers played on it, everybody kind of had their own little community besides that, and I kind of really enjoyed that fact of SkyRegion. So if I ever find a new server, I kind of want that feel to it where I can jump on the server and I can recognize, like, basically everybody on the server, since everybody's still, like, active and stuff like that. I just like the whole idea of a community, and I think that was one thing that SkyRegions did really well, even though it did end up coming to an end. As always, guys, I love you all. See you guys later. Peace out.